अनन्तं विभुं निर्विकल्पं निरीहं शिवं सङ्गहीनं यदोङ्कारगम्यं निराकारमत्युज्ज्वलं मृत्युहीनं परं ब्रह्म नित्यं तदेवाहमस्मि।
नमो नमस्ते गुरवे महात्मने विमुक्तसङ्गाय सदुत्तमाय नित्याद्वयानन्दरसस्वरूपिणे भूम्ने सदा पारदयाम्बुधाम्ने। नमस्ते नमस्ते विभो विश्वमूर्ते, नमस्ते नमस्ते चिदानन्दमूर्ते, नमस्ते नमस्ते तपोयोगगम्य, नमस्ते नमस्ते श्रुतिज्ञानगम्य। स्वाराज्य साम्राज्य विभूतिरेषा भवत्कृपा श्रीमहिमप्रसादात् प्राप्ता मया श्रीगुरवे महात्मने। नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु, नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु, नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु। नमस्तस्मै सदैकस्मै तस्मै चिन्महसे नमः। यदेतद्विश्वरूपेण राजते गुरुराजते, यदेतद्विश्वरूपेण राजते गुरुराजते। Hari. I was telling you about my name, Nirviseshananda, that Swamiji has given such a name to me, nobody in the world can pronounce. Except one, I found one American lady, just for one program, she pronounced exactly correctly. She practiced the name. She said she has practiced the name quite a few times in the morning. Wrongly practiced, so you have the wrong thing has got set in. You should have practiced in front of me. Didi is also like that. She will not be able to pronounce, so she could not correct you. No, I will teach you the pronunciation. And you know that I have to sign most of the papers in the ashram. It is such a long signature. I take 3-4 times the Ma takes to sign her name. That Swamiji had been Nirvisesha means, Vishesha means speciality. Nirvisesha means which does not have any speciality at all. That is the Brahman, the truth, which does not have any bheda. Even subject-object bheda is not there. That is why Brahman is called Nirvisesha. So that name he has given because I always used to say that this is also okay, that is also okay. So there is a story where the Raja of a place, he was going to visit a temple. Generally when the real cultured kings of our country, even administrators also should be like that, when they used to go to some Tirtha, some pilgrimage or some temple, they would inquire that, is there any saint here whom I can meet? Because saints were always given the higher position than the temple and the god. So the kings were aware of that. So he asked that, can I see any saint here? So the other ministers and all say, yes, here is a very great saint, we can go. So they went to meet the saint. He was sitting under a tree with the Valkala, you know, with the bark. He was wearing a kaupinam with the bark of a tree. So The king spoke to him for some time and he liked him very much. And he again started visiting him intermittently. Then finally he fell in love with him and took initiation from him. That means accepting him as the guru, becoming his disciple. So as his fondness for the guru grew, he started feeling bad that I am staying in such a luxurious palace with silken dress and moving in vehicle, eating like this. But my guru is staying in such a, just under the tree, wearing a bark of the tree, balkala. So he started feeling bad about it. So one day he brought some silken dress, orange colored silken dress, and offered to him, saying that, Maharaj, I feel very pained that you are using balkala and you are lying here only. So please use this silken dress, at least the body will be having some comfort. So the Guru took it and then gave it back, saying that this is the shloka. Vayamiha paritushtaha balkalais tvam dukulaihi. Dukula means silk. Vayam iha paritushtaha. We are satisfied with balkalaihi. We are satisfied with the bark of a tree. But you need for your satisfaction a silk. Tvam dukulaihi. Samaiha paritosho nirvishesho visheshaha. Here the name is coming. Samaiha paritosho nirvishesho visheshaha. As far as the satisfaction is concerned, that satisfaction is in the mind. Whether it is out of silk or out of valkala, out of austerity or out of luxury, the sukha, the satisfaction is grown out of the mind. It does not have any silken nature or a valkala nature. Just like as Swamiji gives the example of a rich man's daughter is getting married and a poor man's daughter is getting married. Maybe it is with lot of pomp and grandeur for the rich person. For the poor person, it's a meager thing. But as far as the satisfaction is concerned, can it be different? Both the parents will be equally satisfied because it's a product of the mind. It cannot be silken or barkly. So, sama iha paritosho, that paritoshaha, the satisfaction, is equal. It does not have any color or difference like that. Nirvishesho visheshaha. The speciality of this satisfaction is that it has no speciality. Nirvishesho visheshaha. The visheshatva of this satisfaction is all other things in the world, they have all differences. In the case of the mind's product, the speciality is that mind's product are all made of mind, all made of consciousness. That is what we are repeatedly saying. The whole world for him is made of consciousness. So for him the speciality is, there is no speciality anywhere at all. Whether it is an enemy or a friend, he will behave friendly with the friendly person. He will be keeping away a little from the enemy person. But if he comes and does, he will interact with him also if there is a necessity. But there won't be any hatred or a special clinging for his people or a hatred towards anybody else. So nirvishesho visheshaha. That speciality is that it does not have any special distinctions. Satu bhavati daridro yasya trishna vishalaha manasija paritushte ko daridro कोर्थवान को दरिद्रः. धनवान बोलने से मीटर चला जाएगा. मनसिज परितुष्टे कोर्थवान को दरिद्रः. Satu bhavati daridro yasya trishna vishala. A person becomes poor whose desires are vishala. बहुत बड़ा है. Manasija paritushte. When the mind is satisfied, then where is the question of whether he is arthavan or a poor? His mind is satisfied. So the shloka is Vayamiha paritushtaha valkalaih tvam dukulaihi samaiha paritosho nirvishesho visheshaha satu bhavati daridro yasya trishna vishala manasija paritushte Korthavan ko daridraha. In Kathopanishad, Nachiketa is telling Yamaraja that, "O Yamaraja, you are giving all these gifts from the earth, from the heaven, which are not available to the worldly people at all. You have brought the chariots, the dancers, musicians, sevakas and what not, everything. You have given me special powerful mala and everything. But are they not all shvabhavaha? Shvabhavaha means tomorrow also they will not be there. Whether they live for longer period or not, someday they will go. They are all perishable. Shvobhava-matyasya yadantakaitad sarvendriyanam jarayanti tejaha. Not only that, they are perishable. By enjoying them, whatever you have given, by giving indulgence to all these enjoyments, what happens to us is sarvendriyanam jarayanti tejaha. All our sense organs, they lose their brilliance. They are getting depleted. This is very true, because suppose the whole day you have been using the sense organs. When you go to sleep also, suppose you have only dream, you don't have a deep sleep, then will you not get up very tired? Because although the external sense organs are sleeping, are not active, when the dream is there, the real sense organs which is inside, which is in the mind, which is in the brain, the real sense organs, they are still active. So they are getting fatigued. Throughout the day, the sense organs are becoming fatigued. Not only the outer organs, inside also. That is why in dream also they are getting fatigued. So there is no rest until you go into the deep sleep, when no dream, no activity of the mind at all. That deep sleep is your resting in the lap of the soul. It is similar to samadhi, only you don't know that what the state is. In samadhi you know that all the organs are not functioning, they are awake, so you come to know. In deep sleep also it is the identical state, but you don't come to know that I am sleeping, that you will not know, that knowledge will not be there. But the whole rest comes from the deep sleep period, because all the indriyas, they get recharged, enlivened by the soul, that power we have. From that power we have grown. We miss that power. We see only the gross objects, we miss that power. Spirituality is to set ablaze that power, that fire of the Atma, that becomes blazing forth. The whole spiritual sadhana is to enhance that fire, so that that becomes more important than the gross world. That is why in Bhagavad Gita it is said that Ya nisha sarvabhutanam tasyam jagati samyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato mune. A person who has known the Atma, it is Ya nisha sarvabhutani tasyam jagrati samyami. The knower is awake where all other people are asleep. Nisha means Ratri. For them it is night. That means they don't see. In that the knower is awake. That means they are not seeing the Atma, they are not seeing the soul, they are missing the soul. The knower is always awake to the soul, awake to the Atma. Whereas, Yasyam jagrati bhutani sanisha pashyato mune. Where all the people are awake, that is the whole gross world of likes and dislikes, raga, dvesha and all fragmentation. The Muni is not, for the Muni, that is the night, darkness, because he is not interested in that. So, the whole spiritual sadhana is to ignite and set ablaze that Atma, that becomes the main focus. In Kenopanishad it is said, Pratibodha viditam matam amritatvam hi vindate, Atmana vindate viryam, Vidyaya vindate amritam. Pratibodha viditam matam amritatvam hi vindate. Pratibodha viditam matam. When we come to know this self or the truth or the Brahman, in every perception, then only it becomes, one attains immortality. Not that you know only in the samadhi, I have understood, I have had the self-experience. But when you are awake, you are missing it. Again you go to samadhi and have it. No, then immortality will not come. Immortality means changelessness of our own identity. We have to understand when it is there only in samadhi and outside it is not there, there is a change, it is a state. But immortality will dawn only when we are able to identify that consciousness in every perception. It is true, we can intellectually understand, because when we are seeing the book, what we are seeing is the book is revealed finally by my consciousness. Until it is revealed by my consciousness, I will not know the book. In the consciousness, certain things are appearing as outside the body, certain things are appearing as inside the body. That means the external world appears to be external objects, and the internal world of thought, emotions, etc., they appear to be internal objects. But all are revealed by the soul. So we miss the soul because our focus is always on the fragmented object, to see something different from me, to see something different from me. So when the book is revealed, we miss the revealer, our focus is on the revealed book. Is it clear? Similarly, when a thought comes, mother's thought, father's thought, immediately our focus is on mother or father. But we miss the revealer consciousness which is giving rise to the thought of the mother, which is revealing the thought of the mother, which is revealing the thought of the father. Do you get it? Internally also. So every time the revealer we are missing, and because our focus is always on the what is revealed, as because our focus right from birth is to see something different from us, to look for something different from us. That is called really the bhogecha. Bhogecha means the tendency to enjoy the world. So that becomes the last hindrance for a spiritual seeker, this bhogecha. That means that will always make you small, because unless you are small, how can there be a second? If you are, the whole universe is full with me, then there is no second at all. But we are creating that second, we want that second to enjoy, because we are used to that I have to enjoy something different from me. That is the greatest ignorance and the hindrance we suffer from. When that is gone, when we forget the whole world, including our body, mind, personality, then the self reveals itself. So it says, pratibodha viditam matam amritatvam hi vindate. When it is revealed in every perception, because consciousness cannot be missed, even when there is no perception, that is a vacuum, in deep sleep also, or in samadhi. When there is no world at all, that no signal is also revealed by this. Suppose you have become unconscious. There was an accident, you became unconscious for a few seconds or minute. How long you will not know. But getting up, you will know that for certain period I did not know anything. That there was a vacuum, there was a blank. This blank, that is no object, no signal, that is also revealed by the soul, revealed by this consciousness. That is why it is called pratibodha. In every perception, pratibodha has another meaning, that the fundamental point from where the bodha is coming, where things are getting revealed. That is called pratibodha. Everything is revealed there. Buddhi is analyzing. Final revelation of anything is taking place in the consciousness. That is called the pratibodha. So actually, even the yajna we are studying now, yesterday also, the real yajna, they will say, in the Upanishads they will say, the real fire is not in the Homakunda. Their real fire is our own I, that we are always referring to as I. That is the real fire. How do you light it up? You use the body, mind, personality as the adhararani. Adhararani means in yajna, generally yajna fire is not lit from other places. They brush, they rub two pieces of wood. One is called adhararani, means lower piece of the wood. Over that they rub with the upper piece, which is called uttararani. So by rubbing, the fire is generated. With that, the Homakunda is lit. So the Upanishads will say that making the body, mind, personality, our adhara, our being, as the adhararani, you rub with your sadhana. Say, if it is there explaining the Omkara sadhana, they will say that you rub with the Omkara, and the fire of Atma will come out of the being. Once it is coming out, our purpose is to keep it ablaze and enhance it. so that it becomes all engulfing. Then that becomes the reality, and all other things are appearing in that. So real yajna is that. That is what we were trying to explain yesterday. Can you show the yesterday's chakra? I thought if you can show you the diagram, it will remain in your mind. So I have designed today, hurriedly in the evening. Sally helped me. I don't know how she has done finally, but what I have seen after that, did you do anything else? No. The top I have, are you able to see from the behind? I have written it as creation cycle. It is that shloka we will read again today. Evam pravartitam chakram. Chakram means cycle. Evam pravartitam chakram. That is, nature has introduced this cycle. It is a cycle of nature. Creation cycle we are calling. Now, they have started from Annad Bhavanti Bhutani. You remember yesterday's? You will not be able to see now. Annad Bhavanti Bhutani. That is, from the food, from the Anna, food, the beings, all the pranis are born, Bhutani. Now, then they said, Parjanyat Anna Sambhavaha. So you go back anti-clockwise to the next step. Parjanya means cloud, and cloud becomes rain. That is how all the food, all the plants, everything is growing. So he says, Parjanyat Anna Sambhavaha. That means this causality is cloud and rain to Anna, and Anna to the pranis, the Bhutani being. Go farther down to a causality, that where from Parjanya is coming, they are saying Yajnat Bhavati Parjanyaha. I said that it has two interpretations. One is that Vedic Yajnas were there by which rain was brought. You have heard of Agastya Muni, who found that the Vindhya Parvat was absolutely dry. There was no rain for 12 years or so. It was absolutely dry. So Agastya sat there and did tapasya there. He did the yajna by which the rain came. Last year in California, some people performed a yajna, and they had, that day itself we had some rain. So it happens, we have seen, but whatever it is, that Vedic yajna creates rain. In the other sense, here the yajna is actually, as I explained yesterday, the yajna of the sea and the sun. Because according to Bhagavad Gita, yajna means whenever you are offering yourself to a larger cause. Yajna is taking a small thing, expanding into infinitude or in a large thing. So the sun is radiating itself, sacrificing itself. That is why yajnas are called sacrifice. Sacrificing itself, the radiation of sun, it is the yajna for the sun. It is radiating its energy. For the sea, with the sunlight, the sea is allowing its water to get evaporated. That is the yajna for the sea. And with that yajna, actually the cycle of that yajna is completed, because the vapor is going as cloud, going over the terrain and over the mountains and coming down as snow or rain, and that is creating the river. So the yajna of the cloud is shedding the rain. And then with that water, whatever river comes, the river is doing throughout its life, it is doing yajna by feeding the people around, the plants around. The whole path of the river is a yajna, because it is for the others. There also it is for others. So everywhere it is the selfishness is won over by the comprehensive feeling and knowledge about the comprehensive attitude of yajna. So yajna there can be understood in both ways. Now they have said yajna karmodbhavam viddhi. The next sentence is yajna karmodbhavam viddhi. That means yajna is always coming out of action. Yajna means action. So when there is a yajna, there has to be duality. Don't think that the yajna can be done in the non-duals. No. Yajna means there is an activity. Something is there which is getting expanded into a larger cause. And this action, karma, is also interpreted in the Vedic sense, because Vedas are also called karma, because all the yajna, etc., they are instructions in the Vedas. So the yajna is all coming from karma. Here, yesterday I said that another meaning is yajno vai Vishnuhu, that Vishnu is called the yajnadhipati. Actually, Vishnu himself is yajna. Yajno vai Vishnuhu means Vishnu himself. Yajna itself is Vishnu himself. And Vishnu, the term means Vyapnoti iti Vishnu, means which is all pervading. That means Vishnu represents our Atma, the consciousness, Paramatma, all pervading consciousness. And yajna is supposed to take us to that all pervading consciousness. It is supposed to take us to the Parampada of Vishnu. So anyway you interpret, it will take you to the same thing. Now karma brahmodbhavam viddhi. All the Vedic karmas, they are coming from, any karma is coming from Brahma. Now that Brahman is explained in two manners. One is Karya Brahma, another is Akshara Brahma. Akshara Brahma, when there is no activity. When that manifests as nature, then the whole nature, the comprehensive nature, is also called Brahma. So Brahman is both. One is the unmanifest Brahman, another is the manifest Brahman. So when we say karma brahmodbhavam viddhi, we mean the manifest Brahman or Karya Brahma. Also the other meaning parallelly is that all the karmas are coming from Vedas, because Vedas also are called Brahma. Why Vedas are called Brahman? I explained yesterday, you might have forgotten, that Vedas are called apaurushaya. Not that they have been dropped from the sky like that, but Vedas are revealed truths. They are not composed. That is, the truth is there in nature. Rishis, by their transcendental mind, they see the truth, and the truth is expressed in the form of Vedic mantras. They are all called revealed mantras. They are never called composed poems or anything. So truly speaking, Vedas are a manifestation of the unmanifest truth. So that way, Vedas also are containing the Brahman in them. They are directly from the Brahman, because it is done with in link when the transcendental mind is completely anchored in the truth. So this is the Karya Brahma. Then he said Brahmakshara, what is that? Karma brahmodbhavam viddhi brahmakshara samudbhavam. That Karya Brahma is coming out of the non-manifest, unmanifest Akshara Brahma. That word Akshara means unchanging. Kshara means changing. That Kshara Brahma is coming out of the Akshara Brahma. That is our Paramatma or consciousness, the supreme truth, anything we can say. Brahmakshara samudbhavam. Tasmat sarvagatam Brahma nityam yajne pratishthitam. Therefore, this supreme truth, the all-pervading consciousness, is always established in yajna. There you see that I have completed that circle with a golden arrow, which represents our Yajna Bhavana. This is how Bhagavad Gita is completing. This is green circle is the nature's cycle. And the other part of the chakra, that golden part, is also the provision has been given by the Creator in us. Sahajajna praja srishtva. Is it becoming too abstract for you, or you are able to follow? Sahajajnaha praja srishtva. That when human beings were created, along with that possibility of the jajna is already there. The jajna is created. For us is to perform that jajna and get back to our source, that is becoming, to merge in the Paramatma, to get back. That is what is called realization. That is what is the knowledge. So that happens by Yajna Bhavana. This Yajna we have to perform. That is, every moment we expand our mind by removing our selfishness, removing our constrictions, removing our clinging to gross objects, hating gross objects, everything. The moment we remove our grossness and become lighter and lighter, like air, like space and beyond, this is the Yajna we perform. So this Yajna Bhavana is the sadhana for us. So directly Bhutani is going to the Paramatma or Akshara Brahma. by the Yajna Bhavana. So the whole cycle we are calling Yajna Sadhana. That remembering this comprehensive truth and always try to be aware of the comprehensive truth and always surrendering our small actions to the universal Yajna of the Lord. That is, the whole universe is a Yajna of the Lord. There we puny human beings, we are also doing something with our faculties, whatever nature has provided us. We have not done anything. Nature has provided us the faculties. With that, whatever we do, if we do with the awareness that it is also a part in the universal Yajna of the Lord, then we become expanded, we get merged in the ultimate. So this Yajna process will continue till we have the duality. This Yajna process ends when we realize the truth, we become the Paramatma. Then there is no question of further Yajna doing further Yajna. Because whatever he does is Yajna, by itself it is Yajna. That is why we say that the surrender has to be practiced as long as we have the duality. Finally, we come to know, by practicing surrender, we come to know that we are surrendered. We don't have to surrender at all, because we are not doing anything at all. It is all done by the Trigunas. It is all done by the Prakriti, done by nature. My body is a product of nature. My mind is a product of nature. Everything, the body, mind, personality is a product of nature. Nothing is done by it. It is the nature's faculties, whatever we have. In case of human being, we have an additional faculty of analysis, viveka and all. We have to activate that also. This is also nature's product. Viveka buddhi also has been given by nature. So we perform our yajna with all the faculties given by the nature. And finally, we come to realize the truth that we are already surrendered. There is nothing to surrender at all. It is all the nature functioning. The Mahakali is dancing on Shiva. We identify with the Purusha, the Shiva, on which the Mahakali of nature, which contains my being, my body, mind, personality as a small being, is dancing on it. That is the dance of the universe, dance of the creation going on. We are only a sakshi to that. We are only a witness to that. This is the Yajna concept. Does it give you any clarity? You know, yesterday I was speaking on it, but I was not at all happy, because I could see your faces and all. Whatever the amount of communication I want to do, it was not happening. So that I was discussing also. I asked somebody also what was their feeling and all, but I could detect my own problem, that before coming I was taking these things in the ashram. That is why we selected this as the topic here. And there this yajna and all I explained very well, that I was very satisfied with whatever I said there. I was very satisfied. That satisfaction was not coming. So I thought that it must be the memory of the class. I am trying to remember what I did in the class, and I am trying to say, trying to speak that. You know, immediately the life, the prana of the lecture will go. If you try to remember anything and speak, it will not be. It should be a free flow. Then only the lecture will be powerful and it will have proper communication, maximum possible communication. There are many people who does, what can be done? That nothing can be done. But at least when the communication is proper, we feel a certain satisfaction. So today I thought that I will discuss it again, and then in the evening only after the walk I asked, before the walk or after the walk, I asked Sally that, can you help me in making this diagram? So we made the diagram so that it can give you, you will be able to remember, and it gives a completeness to the concept. Now we should remember this, all this concept of creation in the Shastras, they are all fictitious, because Shastra's purpose is not explaining the creation. They know that this whole creation is an appearance in the consciousness. The purpose of giving any model of creation is to help us walk back and get back to our real identity, the Paramatma. Do you get the point? The truth does not lie in the creation, but it is a help for us to get back to our real identity. In Yoga Vasishta, you will find in the Srishti Prakarana, Utpatti Prakarana, there are various models of creation given. I don't know how many, but quite a few models of creation given. If you look at them, they are different. They may be sometimes even contradictory also. I don't know whether they are contradictory, but they are very much different. Because the purpose is to give some models. Which model will strike whom, we don't know. The purpose of the Shastras is to start with any model and walk back. That is, this is how the creation has come. The creation has come from the Paramatma, from the consciousness. The whole thing is coming manifest in the consciousness. So it is a path for you to walk back and reach the consciousness, the ultimate, the real identity, our real identity. So whether it is a Yajna concept, say even that Panchabhuta, you find that is very common in our Shastras. Always the world is expressed in terms of Panchabhuta. They are only model. All these are model, like the scientific models of gravity and all. These are also models. Why we have taken to Panchabhuta model? Because they realize that the whole world perception, as we are seeing the world, is depending on our 5 organs. Suppose instead of 5 we had 7 organs, the world would look different. Suppose we had magnetic organ, magnetic eye and an electrical eye, then everything will look different. The world picture, suppose instead of 5 we have less. Those who do not have eyes, their world picture is different. Those who are from birth, those who do not have eyes, their world picture will be different. So, suppose we have a microscopic eye and start seeing how all of you will look. Suppose I develop, ours is a very limited vision, in a very small part of the entire electromagnetic wave region, very small, minuscule. And also we can see only moderate object. We cannot see very large and we cannot see very small also. Very small particularly we don't see. Suppose I start seeing the electron, protons and all, you will be all bizarre collection of electrons, protons. That is taking electron, proton level. If you go to the fundamental level, even they are only Schrödinger waves, probability waves. So there is no separate Jnanavelan and Mahesh and Anusha and all, nothing. The whole universe is a cluster of probability waves and all. So the whole world picture is depending on our 5 indriyas. Not only that, as I said that from the eyes, if you go beyond the retina, is there any vision? It's all electrical pulses going to the brain. If you go beyond the touch, it is all electrical pulses going through the nerves. If you go beyond the middle ear, it is all electrical pulses going to the brain. All are electric. In the brain, if you take, it's all full of electrical waves and signals. And that is creating the whole world picture. That is why in dream also, when there is no indriyas functioning, those waves, if they are there, whatever waves are exciting the brain, those pictures you are seeing, without them being there, you will see everything, whatever the brain waves are creating. After some days you will find they are putting some electrode and giving you whatever sensation you want. They will excite the brain and you will have those sensations inside. They have identified, as people say, God vision and all, which is the portion which is excited. God vision also, it is an excitation in the brain. Anything we perceive it has its basis in the brain. Without that we won't perceive anything at all. So that is why they have taken the model of Panchabhuta. Each bhuta, each element is related to one indriyas. Like that 5. So as long as human personality is not changing, we are not developing a 6th indriya or a 7th indriya, our elements Panchabhuta will remain Panchabhuta. It is not like chemistry that you started with 16 elements and then landed with 128 elements. It will never change. Or elementary particles go on increasing every day. It will never change because we have got 5 indriyas. Until our personality changes, this model is not going to change. So this 5 element model is taken in our Shastras depending on our perceptions. But the reality is not like that. We will track down to all of them, all the 5, they are finally, the productions are in the mind. Whether it is a vision, whether it is a sound, whether it is a touch, everything is in the mind. And further, the mind is an expression in the consciousness. So we will go down to the consciousness, whatever model is given. Like that this is. So Even say 3 guna model, that the whole nature is made of 3 gunas. What is that? Sattva guna, rajoguna and tamoguna. This sattva guna is prakasha dharmi, is revealing. It reveals everything. Rajoguna is action, energy. And tamoguna is inertia or sthiti, stability. These are the 3 gunas basically. Darkness and inertia. Now, if we really scientifically also investigate, see, no creation will be there if one of these 3 gunas are not there. That is what is written in our Shastras also. They say that in any creation, all the 3 gunas will be there. The difference will be only what is the proportion and which is ruling, which is not ruling, etc. It's a combination of the 3 gunas. Although Bhagavad Gita, this 3 guna model is used for our personality, because Bhagavad Gita is entirely a sadhana related text. So they have presented sattva, rajas, tamas exclusively in the perspective of the sadhana, that how you are to perform the sadhana knowing the 3 gunas. But in general in the Shastras you will find nature also is created out of these 3 gunas. When all the 3 gunas in samya, then no creation is there. When there is a disturbance and some are more, some are less, then the creations are seen. Now, suppose the energy, rajoguna, without that guna, can there be a creation? Even in the elementary particle also there is movement. Movement means there is a causality involved. Without causality there won't be any creation at all. If there is no energy, no movement, then creation also is not possible. It is a fundamental of the creation. Second is that if the creation is not revealed, is there any meaning in that creation? Suppose here there is another universe which we don't perceive. It can be, nobody can say. Maybe we don't perceive it is because of this has got something else in its manner, that 5 indriyas we cannot perceive it. Suppose such an universe is there. For us it does not exist. So unless anything is revealed, that existence doesn't have any meaning. So without the sattva guna, the existence cannot be there. Something has to reveal the existence, then only it will have meaning. The third is, if there is no inertia, no revelation can take place. Inertia means for a certain time it has to remain. Suppose even the minutest elementary particle also, it may have a life of 10 to the power minus 19 or minus 28 seconds, but it has some. If that life is not there, then it cannot exist. That much is its inertia. That is the tamoguna of it. And that tamoguna is giving stability to us. Rajoguna is giving activity, and Sattvaguna is giving us the revelation by which we are coming to know, the knowledge. Now, these 3 gunas also, when you want to come to that ultimate truth, there is no function, no energy, nothing, it is beyond the 3 gunas. Now, if you say that the Bhagavad Gita model of our personality made of 3 gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. If you say that, well, the ultimate truth is beyond the 3 gunas, I am relating to the question I discussed yesterday about virtue and vice. Like that, here also it is applicable. If the truth is transcending all the 3 gunas, then why do I have to cultivate sattva guna? People have this question because sattva guna means some transformation is necessary, changes in habit, changes of food, changes of reading, changes of seeing, everything will have to be sattvic for that. So people will have a resistance. So those who have resistance, they will always ask this question that if finally it is beyond the 3 gunas, then why do we have to change our gunas? I will remain tamasic and rajasic and then become transcendental. It is not possible. You have to have if you are a tamasic, you cannot directly become sattvic also. Those who are very tamasic people, it is wrong to advise them meditation, because in the name of meditation they will sleep, they will doze. No doubt about it. So that is why Vivekananda used to say that in our country people should play football. Why? Because the country had become tamasic. They are idle, they don't work. So what is the point in telling them meditate or do worship? No, they should play, they should become active. So the Rajoguna has to be cultivated to win over the Tamoguna. Once you have done it, then you incorporate incorporate sattva guna to win over the rajoguna, because rajoguna means desire motivated activity. Always there will be fragmentation. This I like, this I don't like. What I like, for that I will move heaven and earth. What I don't like, for that I will not look at his face again if somebody I don't like. Even I have seen statement that I will not forget what she said till my body is put on the pyre. So much is the hatred and reaction in the mind. So that is the Rajoguna effect. That Rajoguna has to be won over by Sattvaguna. That these details I have discussed here. 14th chapter is thoroughly discussed about this. So Sattvaguna has to be cultivated to win over the hold of Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Now when Sattvaguna is cultivated also, in extreme Sattva, that also creates bondage. By Sukha Sangena Badnati Jnana Sangena Chanagha. Now, when it is said that Sattvaguna is binding us by Sukha Sangha and Jnana Sangha, we have to understand that it is binding us by Sattva Sukha and Sattvika Jnana. Because all these have three varieties. Jnana also can be Tamasika, Rajasika, Sattvika. Sukha, happiness or cheer, joy, also can be Tamasika, Rajasika, Sattvika. So when we are saying Sukha Sangena Badnati Jnana Sangena Chanaka, we have to go to the 18th chapter to know what is the Sattvika Sukha and what is the Sattvika Jnana. Sattvika Jnana is where we are aware of the unity in diversity. Those are there. I don't want to go into the detail now. So now that becomes the whole. Those who are given to extreme sattvic people, given to study of the Shastras and only analyzing, ruminating and meditating and all, even if the ceiling falls, they will not move. If the wife asks him to repair something, they will become very annoyed. They don't want to do anything at all. That becomes the whole, because they are reveling so much in the sukha of this, remaining in this knowledge, and also that sukha is out of the knowledge there in that case. Their sukha will not be the usual sensory desire motivated sukha. They will get sukha out of the sattvaguna sukha. So that also becomes a bondage. So how does he overcome that bondage of the sattvaguna? So there the Bhagavatam comes in and says that by becoming nirapeksha, that is not expecting anything from anywhere. That means surrender. That means sattvaguna, extreme sattva also, he is liking the sattvaguna element. He wants to study, he wants to do this, wants to do that according to his guna. That also he has to surrender. That whether his sattvaguna is more, or sometimes rajoguna comes, or sometimes tamoguna overcomes him, he is not getting swayed by anything at all. He remains above that. There are shlokas in Bhagavatam. This is 11th skanda, 25th chapter, 34-35. He says, Nissango mam bhajed vidvan apramatto jitendriyaha rajas tamas chabhijayet sattva samsevaya munihi. By worshipping me, apramattaha jitendriya, by winning over the sense organs, sense slavery, and inattention. Apramattaha means who is not having pramada. Pramada means inattention, who is always attentive about everything. Sattvaguna is the, attention is the quality of sattvaguna. They will be very attentive about everything. So he says, Nissango mam bhajed vidvan apramatto jitendriyaha rajas tamas chabhijayat. He wins over the rajas and tamas sattva samsevaya muni, samyak sevaya, by pursuing doing the sadhana for cultivating sattvaguna more and more. By extreme sattvaguna cultivation, he wins over the rulership of rajoguna and tamoguna. Sattvam chabhiyayet yukto nairapekshena shantadhihi sampadyate gunairmukto jivo jivam vihayamam. Very good. Sattvam chabhijayet yuktaha, one who is yuktaha, he overcomes the bondage of the sattvaguna also. How? Nairapekshena, by cultivating nirapeksha. Nirapeksha means not expecting anything from anybody, anywhere, anytime. और कुछ है? Not expecting anything from anybody, anywhere, anytime. Not expecting means not desiring anything. No expectation at all. That means whatever comes, he accepts. Whatever goes, he accepts that also. That is the meaning of surrender. This surrender gives you a feeling of refuge. Refuge means you have surrendered to the Lord, and Lord is looking after you. Whatever comes, goes. It is with the knowledge of the Lord. It is with the permission of the Lord. So whether I have surrendered or not, the other day I was discussing, that can easily be tested by this feeling within, that if you have really surrendered, you will have a feeling of refuge within. Refuge, you understand? Ashraya bodha. कोई भी अगर आत्मसमर्पण किया है तो उनके मन में एक आश्रय बोध पैदा होगा. आश्रय बोध समझते हैं ना? जैसे हम बच्चा जब माँ के गोद पर रहते हैं, बच्चे जब माँ के गोद पे हैं, उस समय उसकी कोई चिंता नहीं है. उसी तरह that we will feel a refuge in our mind, that I am in the lap of the Lord. That is the nirapeksha. So, sampadhyate gunair mukto jivo jivam vihaya mam. Jivaha jivam vihaya mam sampadhyate. Gunair mukto. That means all the gunas, not that he will not have any guna, he will have all the three gunas. But the bondages which are discussed in the 14th chapter, the bondages created by the guna, he will be freed of that. He will neither be under the bondage of tamoguna, nor under the bondage of rajoguna, nor under the bondage of sattvaguna. All the three bondages have gone. Gunair muktaha. What does it do? Jivaha, that is, we consider ourselves to be jivaha, small jivaha. Jivaha jivam vihaya mam sampadhyate. Sri Krishna is always referring to his identity as the universal identity, not the small body-mind identity. So, mam sampadhyate means he becomes like me, he becomes me. That means he also identifies himself with the universal I, the single I, all-pervading, transcendental I. So, jivam vihaya means that chotepan ko tyag kar. Jiva feeling is a chotepan in us, that I am only this and outside they are all outside. Jivaha, that means who is small, he, वो छोटा छोटेपन त्याग कर सारे विश्व में फैल जाते हैं. He becomes like me, Krishna says. He identifies himself with the real identity. So here also this sattva, rajas, tamas, it is a guna model. It is only helping us. I said here that the sadhana is to do the Yajna Bhavana to get back to our Paramatma, that is our real identity. The beings, by doing the pursuing the Yajna Bhavana, they will get back to their real identity, the Paramatma. That Atma becomes Paramatma. So jivam vihaya means the Atma becomes Paramatma there. It gets merged into the Paramatma. Like the small mirror turning upward and the reflected beam getting merged in the original beam, as I said the example. So, there, how do you do the jajna? If you try to do that jajna of always expanding and removing the selfishness and the constriction and expanding yourself, making your activities a part of the universal yajna of the Lord, you may try, but you will not be able to do until your guna constitution changes. With tamoguna and rajoguna, they will hinder your sadhana. Try to understand this. These are very important points. How are we to implement this in our life? You try to do the Yajna Bhavana, pursue the Yajna Bhavana, you will not be able to do without the constitutional change in our being. Because the mind will given to its rajasic and tamasic tendencies. The intelligence will be given to it. Body will be given to it. So unless you undergo a complete transformation of the being in terms of the guna qualities, that the tamoguna has to be overcome by rajoguna and sattvaguna, rajoguna has to be overcome by the sattvaguna, and finally you have to take to complete surrender or nirapekshata. But at least to have that maximum sattva so that you can perform, you can carry on with the Yajna Bhavana. That will need Sattva Guna, because Sattva Guna means expansion, unity in diversity. For that, you have to change your food habit, you have to change your seeing habit, you have to change your listening habit, everything, that all the inputs we are getting, they have to be made Sattvika input. Then only you will become Sattvika. It is simple science. Whatever you take in, you become that. So we have to change all the aharas. Ahara means not only the food through the mouth. Ahara is sound through the ears, the sight through the eyes, everything, all the aharas. And more than that is the ahara of the mind and intelligence. That is the thoughts, the ideals, the virtues we are incorporating in us. That means we have to read the Sattvika books which are giving us the Sattvika qualities. We have to ruminating over this truth is itself a great Sattvika practice. We have to do that. So more and more mind hours we have to spend on the cultivation of the Sattva Guna in everything. Particularly the mind. The mind has to be fed with good thoughts, noble thoughts, good ideals, noble ideals, virtues and whatnot. That will incorporate the change. As the body-mind personality undergoes the transformation, automatically our everything, it will ultimately, Yajna Bhavana or Samatva Buddhi, everything can be incorporated easily. They will become Swabhavika, Sahaja, natural to us. This is the sadhana. We should not miss the sadhana. So, this Sattva, Rajas, Tamas have been discussed so much in 14th chapter, 18th chapter, and here and there 17th chapter also. Why have they been given so much importance in Bhagavad Gita? Because that consists of a very practical sadhana. That how to transform our being. Otherwise, whatever they have discussed, we will not be able to implement it. Although we will understand, but we will not be able to implement it unless the whole being undergoes a transformation. And when we transform the being, everything becomes natural, swabhavik. Yes, they are duality. Both are product of the mind only. Yes, in the 18th chapter, Sukha has been analyzed in 3 forms. Then everything, why don't you read 18th chapter? Everything is in terms of 3 gunas. Karma, Karta, Jnana, Dhruti, Buddhi, Sukha. Everything has been analyzed as 3. Yes, it is a duality. It is a duality, and that duality will go when you understand that both are product of the mind, both are product of the consciousness. In Sukha also the Lord is equally there, in Dukkha also the Lord is equally there as in Sukha. If you are a devotee, then you will find Lord in both. Why do you have to go to the scriptures? Our Rabindranath has sang so many places. Jeke ho more diye cho shukho, diye cho tari porichaya, shavare ami nomi. Jeke ho more diye cho dukho, diye cho tari porichaya, shavare ami nomi. Shabari maje, tahari ami peyechi aji porichaya. That is, those who have given me dukkha, sorrow, suffering. Through that suffering, they have given me, O Lord, your touch. So I prostrate before them who have given me suffering. Those who have given me happiness and joy, through that happiness and joy also they have given me your touch, O Lord. So I prostrate before them also. Those who have given me suffering. Because through all this suffering and happiness, given by all the different circumstances, O Lord, I have got only you and you alone. The poets have written so many things. Yes, mind is considered an indriya. In this chapter also it is there. Mind is a most important indriya. Because there are certain things which the other indriyas are not involved. Suppose fame, looking for appreciation, these are all mind product. Other senses are not involved. See, another fundamental thing, whatever we do in the name of religious or spiritual sadhana, ultimately it is our mind, our personality which is involved. What we are doing for whom it is not at all involved, not at all important. Suppose you are going to the temple and worshipping. It is not the idol or the god which is important there. It is our mind which is doing the worship. It is the sincerity of the mind what you are praying. That is why some people get fulfilled, some others' prayers are not fulfilled. It depends on their mind, how much earnestly, how much sincerely they are praying. And it is worked by the mind itself. The power of the mind, we don't know. We consider the mind is limited by the small body. So naturally, we don't know the power of the mind. Everything is mind. Mind has got tremendous power. So the more we become sincere, transparent, one-pointed, the mind works. It is, idol is only secondary. Even the greatest book of Bhakti, Bhagavatam, says clearly it is like the idol or whatever we are doing in the name of worship or so. It is like looking into the mirror and putting the bindi on the face. The mirror is helping us to put the bindi, the tilak. But where we are looking at the mirror, our face, and putting the bindi, is it falling on the mirror? It is falling on our face. Like that we are worshipping, looking at the idol. But whatever the result, it is happening in us, not in the idol. The idol does not grow bigger by that. Or the saint does not become fatter by your prostration. It is all to do with us. Everything is for us. It is the mind which is activated through. Everything is mind. The whole universe is mind and mind alone. Everything we do in the name of religion and spirituality, it is to work with the mind. What we are studying also, it is not so much of knowledge as we gain the knowledge in physics, chemistry, mathematics. Spiritual knowledge is not like that. The studies, spiritual studies, are given as an instrument. By constantly ruminating on the soul, thinking about the soul, analyzing about the soul, the mind becomes the soul. This transformation of the mind is activated, incorporated, actualized by our study. The philosophy is not the ultimate. By the philosophy, what is happening to the mind is the important part there. So it is a simple technology. The more and more you interact with the world, the mind becomes worldly. More and more you interact with fragmented bhavanas, fragmented ideas, the mind becomes fragmented. More and more you replace those interaction with the universal oneness, transcendentalness with the soul. The mind becomes integrated, becomes one. The fragmentations go. It becomes integrated. So it is, although we think that we are knowing about Atma, knowing about Brahman, that is not the real purpose. That is only secondary. Those we are utilizing to treat our mind, intelligence, our body, that our being is being treated by this knowledge. And then what we become the knowledge. It is not a knowledge gained from the scripture or from the lecturer or anything like that. If we really activate that knowledge, then what we will become? We will become the soul. Is it not? Constantly interacting with the concept of the soul, we become the soul. So let us go ahead with a few more shlokas. We will repeat the, from 14th shloka we will chant. Today we have not chanted at all. Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyadanna sambhavaha yajnat bhavati parjanyo yajna karma samudbhavaha karma brahmodbhavam vidhi brahmakshara samudbhavam tasmat sarvagatam brahma nityam yajne pratishtitam evam pravartitam chakram nanuvartayati hayah aghayurindriya ramo mogham partha sajivati evam pravartitam chakram. This is what we have just now shown on the projector. This is the chakra. Pravartitam chakra means this has been instituted by nature, by creator, whatever you may say. There, our part is only to use the Yajna Bhavana to complete the chakra. That is, this is the chakra of our origin. Now, by instituting the Yajna Bhavana in a being, we are getting back, completing the whole cycle, getting back to the Paramatma. That you have understood, no? So he says, Evam pravartitam chakram nanuvattayati hayaha. This chakra, one who does not follow. What he will not follow? He will not complete the chakra, he will not do activities. Particularly he is saying one who does not do any activities. So there is no question of jajna. To do the jajna, you have to be getting involved in something. Then only you can activate the jajna attitude in doing the karma. So suppose somebody is not doing anything, he says, aghayuhu indriyaramaha mogham partha sajivati. See how many condemnation. He is aghayuhu, means whatever ayus has been given to him by nature, he is misusing, he is not utilizing that ayus. The nature has given us a certain span of life. He is not using that span of life. His life has no meaning at all. Aghayuhu. Agha means papa, no? Papa, sinful. Because he is constricted in his mind. He is selfish. So he is sinful. His ayus is sinful ayus. Indriya Ramaha. He is only interested in sense satisfaction, sense intelligence. He has no loftier thought to convert the life into a yajna or divinize the life and get to the permanent joy. Mogham partha sajivati. He is living for no purpose at all, only for incurring sin. Yastu atmaratireva syat atmatriptascha manavaha atmanyeva cha santushtaha tasya karyam na vidyate. From this 17th shloka, another section is starting. So before we go to the 17th, you get back to the 8th where we started this Yajna Bhavana. 9th we started Yajna Bhavana. 8th verse you go back. He said, Niyatam kuru karmatvam karmajyayo hyakarmanaha Sharira yatra pichate na prasidhyeda karmanaha. So those verses we studied in the beginning, they are saying that those who keep quiet, not doing anything but think many things in their mind, they are absolutely hypocrite. Everybody should do something. And here, niyatam kuru karmatvam. You should do the karma with the jajna bhavana, with the samatva bhavana. That niyatam means guided by your viveka buddhi. Harmonious with your inner voice, guided by your viveka buddhi, you should perform whatever you are doing, whatever has to be done. You go on doing that. Because doing karma is better than remaining akarma, remaining idle. Idleness is never approved of. Sharira yatra pichate na prasidhyet akarmanaha. Even your living cannot be done without any karma. So, never detest karma, never detest activity. Activity is never going to hinder your self-realization or anything at all. Only you have to change your attitude to the Yajna Bhavana or Samatva Bhavana and convert your activities into a Yajna. And then, or yoga, karma yoga, you convert, make the karma into a yoga. Then that will take you to the goal which the Upanishads also promise. So after that he has explained what is this yajna, what is this. So he took it to that universal level of all the activities, that everywhere it is yajna is being done. Only the human beings are positing their egoistic I there and spoiling the yajna. Suppose there is a beautiful flower, you appreciate the beauty of the flower, that how beautifully nature has created. You will find that your mind will be expanding by the appreciation of nature. But, oh, it is a beautiful flower. अपने सिर पे लगा दिया. You are spoiling the yajna there. That Beauty is there, but you are introducing your selfishness in putting the flower to beautify yourself. Suppose you are appreciating a beauty of a man or a woman as a creation of God. There is nothing wrong, it is good when you can appreciate it. Some faces are so innocent, so transparent. Seeing that we feel so happy and good about it. But suppose seeing that face you think that if she had become my wife, how good had it been? The yajna is spoiled immediately. That is, you are introducing selfishness where you could easily expand and get the benefit of the yajna. Then it's become yajna shishta ashinas santo. That you take the prasada, the chitta prasada by performing the yajna. Not doing that by sensory enjoyment, the clinging to sensory enjoyment every time, we are spoiling the yajna. So they have taken that the universal dimension and completed this after saying that activities have to be done, and these activities are instrument for liberation. You should not hate activities. Without the activities you will not be able to transform your being. That is the idea. You should not miss that part. Now he is saying that one who does not take part in this chakra, he is absolutely sinful life. He is leading a sinful life. Saying that, he says that, but for the knower it is not applicable. The next two shlokas says, because he has already that, I said that Yajna Paramatma, that merger is already there. So for him there is no Yajna, and you can say everything is Yajna. For him everything is the Lord's Yajna. Triguna going on with its activity. Guna guneshu vartanta iti matva na sajjate. He doesn't cling to anything at all. In Shvetashvatara it says, na tasya karyam karanam cha vidyate na tatsamascha abhyadhikascha drishyate parasyar shaktir vividhaiva shruyate swabhaviki jnana bala kriya cha na tasya karyam karanam cha vidyate na tatsamascha abhyadhikascha drishyate parasyar shaktir vividhaiva shruyate swabhaviki jnana bala kriya cha. It's a very good shloka. He says, for him there is no karyam or karanam. There is nothing to be done, no activity at all. He does activity, maybe doing everything, but nothing is applicable to him. Natat samaschat abhyadhikascha drishyate. Nothing can be equal to him or transcending him, because that is the ultimate in which the whole universe is appearing to be. Asya parashaktir vividhaiva shruyate. Although he is not involved in any activity at all, his supreme power is appearing as this multifarious universe. The whole, that Purusha, that consciousness, its supreme power is appearing as the whole multifarious, variegated universe. How? Swabhaviki jnana bala kriyacha. This yesterday also I quoted from Munda Upanishad. How? Swabhaviki, it is a sahaja, no desire, motivation, nothing. The whole srishti is a sahaja srishti, it is just appearing to be. A knower's life becomes a sahaja life. Swabhaviki. How? Swabhaviki jnana bala kriyacha. The knowledge which he is, the non-dual knowledge, the consciousness he is, it is the power of that knowledge which is appearing as kriya. Jnana bala kriya. This word is very important. Jnana bala kriya. That knowledge is manifest as the kriya in the whole universe. See, when generally a differentiation is made, when any action is done with a desire motivation, we call it karma. Avidya, kama, karma. First is the ignorance that I am small and everything is different from me. That gives rise to the desireless, because the moment we think I am small, I have to run after something, I have to run away from something, I have to get this, I cannot lose this. All these are coming from avidya. Avidya means ignorance, that I am small. I don't know my universal identity. So avidya leads to kama, desire, and kama leads to karma. Our general desire motivated activities are coming like that. But when it is not desire motivated, we generally call it kriya. It is not karma. The whole universe is tremendous, unimaginable activity, but all these are kriya. They are not karma. Nothing is desire motivated there. So for a jnani's life also it becomes a kriya, not karma. He does not have any more desire motivated activity, but he functions, he does more than others. That's all kriya. That is what he is saying, jnana bala kriyacha, jnana bala kriyacha. The supreme consciousness by its sahaja, swabhaviki, sahaja. Swabhaviki means natural, spontaneous, by its knowledge, power, action, by its own manifestation, the whole magic of the world is being done. So he says that for him, yah tu atmaratihi eva syat, atmatriptasya manavaha, atmani eva cha santushtaha, tasya karyam na vidyate. For him there is no karya at all. He has to do this, do that, this is his duty. No, he should look after his parents, he should look after his child. Nothing is there for him. He may not. Whatever comes, he does. Tasya karyam, that no duty is spoken of about him. For whom? Yahatu, 3 words they have given. Atmaratihi, atmatriptaha, atmani evacha santushtaha. 3 means same. Generally we are always having vishaya rati. Rati means reveling in, indulging in. We have vishaya rati. Vishaya rati means always indulging in and reveling in objective situation or objective objects or objective situation. We are looking for something else to get joy. Is it not? Only in meditation, when somebody is able to get the bliss, he is not looking for anything else within. Then he discovers that actually the joy is within, not outside. The outside is only an incidence through which he is having the joy. So he is atmaratihi, that means he is not vishayarati, he does not look for any enjoyment anywhere outside. His joy is always welling forth from within, but it is not a joy of the kind we may think. It is always a fulfillmental joy, a cheerfulness, fulfillmental cheerfulness. Not that he will always do ha ha hi or anything. He is always complete, purna, he is always fulfilled. Atmaratihi, because everywhere it is his Atma, he is reveling in his Atma. Yahtu atmaratireva syat, atmatriptaha. He is satisfied, fulfilled with his Atma alone. He doesn't look for anything else. Actually, there is nothing else. Everything is Atma. What will he look for? Atmani eva cha santushtaha. Remaining within the Atma, he is absolutely peaceful, contented. Tasya karyam na vidyate. For him there is no duty at all. Naiva tasya kritenartho na krite neha kaschana na chasya sarva bhuteshu kashchidartha vyapashrayah. Iha, in this world, kritena tasya arthaha naeva. Akritena kahchana na. By doing something, he has no purpose in this world. By not doing also, he does not have purpose. If you say that doing there is no purpose, so I don't do anything. No. By not doing also there is no purpose. So he will not be idle. Whenever anything to be done, he will take up any amount of burden. If he cannot sleep, he will not sleep and carry on as long as the body carries on. Whatever is needed, he will do. Throughout the trip, Swamiji and Ma were generally sleeping only 3 hours, 3.5 hours every day in USA. Now also Delhi, it is somewhat 4 hours or so, because of the demand of the place. So many people, so much of work, etc. So it is not that he has no purpose in doing anything, but he has no purpose in not doing anything also. Depending on whatever comes, he does. He may not do also. If he feels that the body is not able to take, sometimes he will not do. Swamiji said that this time I cannot take any more this long flight. After he reached, and Ma says that whenever he is speaking and all, he is working, but the moment he is sitting in the car or anywhere, he is sleeping. Night sleep is so less that throughout the day he is sleeping here and there. But Swamiji said that is not fully true. Now what is happening is that while speaking to some devotee also I am falling asleep. Maybe that he was speaking something, suddenly he starts dozing. So the body is not able to take. He says that I should stop moving like this, I should not move. Naiva tasya kritenartho na kriteneha kaschana. Even not doing also he has no purpose. Nacha asya sarvabhuteshu kaschid arthavyapashraya. He has no prayojana, no demand, no expectation from anywhere, anytime, from anybody. No prayojana samparka, no gain and what do you call it? The transactional gain expected from anywhere at all. So this is the state of a person who has atmaratihi, atmatriptaha, atmani evacha santushtaha. That is one who has realized his self. This is the thing, who is contented with his self. For him this is true. Now immediately there was a problem for Krishna, because whenever he speaks of this lofty state, Arjuna says that, can I not do it then? Do I have to fight the war? He will say again in the 5th chapter or so, that why are you again putting me into that? Problem still persists. So knowing that, Krishna takes the precaution and suddenly cautions him. No, this is not for you. This is for the knower, this is so. But for you it is not so. So therefore you do this. Without Arjuna's question here, he is putting the correction. Tasmat means therefore. Tasmat asaktas satatam karyam karma samachara. It is a direct order. Samachara. That means you do. Asakto hi acharan karma paramapnoti purushaha. Tasmad asaktas satatam karyam karma samachara. Asakto hyacharan karma paramapnoti purushaha. Therefore, O Arjuna, you karyam karma samachara, whatever comes to be done. For example, now the war has come, this great war has come, you have to fight it. Karyam karma, whatever has come to you to be done, you do it. But do it with asakti, asaktaha. Not clinging to winning the war or winning the kingdom or ruling the kingdom, enjoying the happiness of ruling the kingdom, nothing like that. That is keeping away that carrot of happiness at the end, carrot of gain at the end. Leaving that aside, you do whatever has come to you, perform that. Because asaktaha hi acharan karma param apnoti purushaha. If one does remaining asaktaha, that is not clinging to his carrot, then he attains the supreme. Param apnoti purushaha. He attains the supreme. Then he goes on to say, karmanaiva hi samsiddhim asthita janakadayaha lokasangrahamevapi sampashyan kartumarhasi. See, from here he has again taken to the social awareness dimension. He is referring to Janaka and others. That is like Ashwapati. Ashwapati you may not know that much. Who was the father of Savitri Satyavan, you know. Father of Savitri was Ashwapati. So they were all known as great Rajarshis. Janaka, Ashwapati, etc. So such people, those who are Rajarshis, they have also attained their siddhi by remaining active. They have not shunned their activities. They have ruled the kingdom and got the highest of the attainment in spiritual field also. And at least if you don't accept that, looking at the loka sangraha, you should do the karma. So the concept of loka sangraha we have to understand. Up tomorrow. This loka sangraha is a very important word in spirituality. Whatever we are doing, it is only for loka sangraha. So people will have to, those who are volunteers in CIRD also, they should understand that their only purpose of getting involved is loka sangraha. Lokanam unmarga pravritti nivaranam karma. Or lokanam unmarga pravritti nivrittartham karma. That is, left to itself, the society will always degenerate. Why? Because there are clashing interests. Selfish, people are selfish. They always want to win over others, competition, greed, etc. So if any society is left to itself, after some time it will perish. That is what has happened to Rome, Greece, etc. Those civilizations, anywhere, it will perish after some time. So to make the society sustained, you have to always have supply the centripetal force of loka sangraha, that is bringing back the society on the auspicious track. Lokanam unmarga pravritti, utmarga, that means they will be going away from the auspicious track because of the selfish interest and competition and greed and all that. So bringing them back on the auspicious track is called loka sangraha. Whatever we do in the name of spirituality is only to do loka sangraha, that is supplying a centripetal force to the society. Centripetal means which will take you to the center of your personality, the anchor, the soul, the truth. So society is always we are trying to bring back the society on the path of truth. That is called loka sangraha. So he said that even if you don't accept all these things, at least thinking of loka sangraha you should fight, because if you don't fight, the country will be ruled by the ruthless kings as it is now. That is the time he is talking about. All the kings have become corrupt. So thinking of bringing back the society on auspicious track, you have to fight. In the process, you may sacrifice your life also. Doesn't matter. But you have to fight, because fighting is your karma. You are a kshatriya. And it is on your part, you have to do it as loka sangraha, if not anything else.